Attention! The rapture is about to happen. Yes, you heard it right. In this eye-opening video, we will reveal the signs and warnings that have been overlooked. So watch the video till the end to know the signs of rapture that have already occurred, indicating the rapture has happened. Here we begin. Benjamin and Elijah. Once, in a community of followers of Jesus, there was an older man named Benjamin, who had been deeply troubled by the recent events in Ukraine and Turkey. He pondered upon the prophecies spoken by Jesus during his time on earth and wondered if they were starting to unfold right before his eyes. Benjamin's concerns led him to question the significance of these events. Elijah, a young and curious soul, approached Benjamin, aware of his wisdom, seeking answers to the perplexing questions that troubled his mind. Elijah wanted to understand if the war in Ukraine and the earthquakes in Turkey were part of the signs Jesus had mentioned before his death. He wondered if they were living in the end times. Taking a moment to reflect, Benjamin began to share a story from long ago, a tale of a divided Israel facing great turmoil under Roman occupation. In that time of darkness, certain groups like the Pharisees and Sadducees focused on maintaining control rather than understanding God's message of love and mercy. However, some recognized Jesus as the Messiah amidst this darkness, faithfully following him despite persecution and death. As Benjamin narrated the story, Elijah started to see parallels between the events of the past and their present world. He noticed the increasing religious deception, similar to what Jesus had warned about, and the war in Ukraine and earthquakes in Turkey seemed to align with the signs spoken of by Jesus. Eager to find clarity, Elijah asked Benjamin how they could be sure about these interpretations and signs. How could they navigate through uncertainty and stay faithful? Smiling gently, Benjamin reminded Elijah that they couldn't predict the exact timing of these events. However, he emphasized the importance of being watchful and prepared. They needed to stand firm in their faith, trusting God's promises. Benjamin quoted Jesus, who said there would be wars and rumors of wars, but they should not be alarmed. These things must happen, but the end is yet to come. Elijah found solace in Benjamin's words. He began to grasp the significance of remaining vigilant and faithful, even in the face of uncertainty. Instead of seeking to predict the future, their focus should be on staying steadfast in their faith and living according to God's teachings. The strength of faith. Believers in changing times. As the years passed, the world experienced ongoing change. The conflict in Ukraine intensified, and natural disasters wreaked havoc in various communities. However, amidst these events, a small group of believers in Jerusalem found their faith growing stronger. They remained dedicated to studying the scriptures, praying and supporting one another during difficult times. Now, an older man, Elijah, often pondered his conversation with Benjamin and the valuable lessons he had learned about the signs of the times. He understood the significance of staying grounded in faith and trusting in God's plan, even when the world was spinning out of control. As a leader within the community, Elijah guided others in their spiritual journeys, helping them comprehend the meaning of current events through the lens of Scripture. He eagerly shared the story of his conversation with Benjamin, passing on the wisdom he had gained. One day, Ruth, a young woman burdened with grief, approached Elijah. She had recently lost her father in the ongoing conflict in Ukraine and struggled to find meaning in the suffering and devastation she witnessed. Tearfully, she asked, "Where is God in all of this?" Elijah responded to Ruth compassionately, assuring her that God is with us in our suffering, just as he was with Jesus on the cross. God empathizes with our pain and yearns to comfort us. However, he reminded Ruth that this world is not our final destination, and God has a greater plan beyond our comprehension. Signs of the times. Elijah recounted the story of Benjamin and the lessons he had learned about the signs of the times. He reminded Ruth that Jesus had warned about wars, earthquakes, and other disasters, but he also encouraged his followers not to be alarmed. Instead, they were to remain steadfast in their faith, trusting that God would guide them through their trials. Ruth found hope amidst her grief as she considered Elijah's words. She began to understand that God's love and presence could still be found even in the darkest times, filled with renewed strength. Ruth dedicated herself to her faith and joined the community of believers in Jerusalem. Together, they continued to study scriptures, pray, and support one another while navigating the challenges of their world. In the following years, the community faced numerous trials and tribulations. The war in Ukraine persisted, and the aftershocks of the earthquakes in Turkey and Syria continued to impact the region. However, they remained steadfast in their faith, finding solace in the words of Jesus, who promised that the end was yet to come. As the community grew and new generations emerged, the stories of Benjamin, Elijah, and Ruth were passed down. These tales served as a testament to the enduring power of faith in the face of adversity. The believers continued to look to the signs of the times as a reminder that God's plan was unfolding, bringing them hope and strength in uncertain times. Believers in Jerusalem. As the sun set over Jerusalem, bathing the ancient city in a warm glow, a deep sense of peace enveloped the community of believers. They knew that despite their trials, their unwavering faith in God's plan would guide them through the world's uncertainties. Together, they stood as a beacon of hope and a testament to the power of trusting God's promises, even in the darkest times. The first sign: religious deception. Jesus had foretold the signs that would precede his coming and the end of the age. He highlighted religious deception as the first sign, warning that many would come claiming to be the Messiah and deceive many. This deception is prevalent today on a large scale. It is no longer confined to individuals claiming to be Christ, but manifests within Christianity itself. The watering down of the Christian testimony, driven by the fear of offending others and adapting to the world's views, is a sign of this religious deception. The sign of earthquakes, unpredictable and devastating. Continuing with the signs mentioned by Jesus, earthquakes hold a significant place. According to Luke chapter 21 verse 11, Jesus referred to great earthquakes, not just ordinary ones. The devastating earthquake in Turkey was a prime example of such a catastrophe. It occurred relatively close to Israel, and there had been talk of a major earthquake that might hit the region. Therefore, experts believe earthquakes near Israel could trigger a significant seismic event. However, the exact timing of such events remains unpredictable. Another sign of a war. Jesus also spoke of war as a sign. The ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine is a poignant reminder of the potential for wars to escalate to apocalyptic proportions. The intensity of this conflict aligns with the signs Jesus foretold, emphasizing the significance of our times. As believers navigate the signs of the times, holding steadfast to unwavering trust in God's promises is essential. The story of the believers in Jerusalem defines that no matter the challenges we face, our faith in God's plan can give us the strength and courage to persevere. Our faith enables us to find hope and peace in a world filled with chaos and turmoil. Matthew chapter 24 verse 6. Hope and comfort. Amid these challenging times, the words of Jesus in Matthew chapter 24 verse 6 provide hope and comfort. He spoke of wars and rumors of wars, emphasizing that while these events must happen, they do not signify the end. Jesus provided these signs so that we can understand the trends of the world and orient ourselves accordingly. He rebuked the Pharisees and Sadducees for failing to recognize and comprehend the signs of the times, highlighting the importance of discernment and understanding. The lesson of the Jews' rebellion. The historical context of the Jews' rebellion against Rome serves as a cautionary tale. The Jews overestimated their power and underestimated Rome, leading to disastrous consequences. In the current situation, it is not simple for Israel to determine its position in the war between Russia and Ukraine. While President Zelensky has sought arms supplies from Israel, the country has wisely refrained from direct involvement in the conflict. Nevertheless, Israel maintains crucial relations with Russia, which are necessary for dealing with the Iranian presence in Syria. Therefore, Israel needs to exercise wisdom in navigating this delicate situation. Based on the teachings of the Bible, we know that Israel will face tough times. However, it is also assured that God will especially support his people. Therefore, as believers, we can trust that God has a plan for Israel and will provide guidance and protection throughout their challenges. So what do you think of the rapture signs that occurred and how till the time the signs took place? Comment below and subscribe for more.